What's poppin', y'all? It's the Grioht. I'm back again. I know it's been a minute. I'm in the middle of doing some upgrades to my whole computer system, to my streaming software and everything, and getting some new monitors and stuff. So for now, I'm gonna just do these videos from the phone for now, but it'll be before next week. I'll be back and doing more in-depth, political commentary. But I got some things on my mind, a couple things. First of all, shout out to my people as usual. Shout out to Biscuit. Shout out to Johnny Quest, my APO brother. Shout out to Sino JE. Shout out to Multiple Man. Shout out to Lord Sin. What up, Bama? Monopole Joe. Shout out to the New Black Media, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, Phil at the African Diaspora Channel. Shout out to Professor Black Truth, Jason Black. So yeah, a couple things here. I'm gonna start off with this thing that's been going on in the streets and in hip hop. Now I'm in Sacramento, California. Now this whole ops thing, when niggas talking about the ops, and who are the real ops? Let's start there. Who are the real ops? Y'all keep talking about the ops, the ops, the ops. Now usually when they say ops in hip hop now, it usually has to do with another black man versus another black man, and or a black man dying as a result of this ops crap. And I say ops crap because, look, for one, I'm smart enough to understand how things can be in the street. I've been in it. I know how beefs can be in the street. I know how, somebody does something harmful to your family members or one of your friends. You're going to naturally want revenge. So you're going to look at that person as your enemy. But to a certain point, more so than ever now, with all this anti-black racism going on in America, and with all this, too many of us dying and going to jail, who is the real opposition to all of us, whether you be from South Side, from West Side, whether you be a Blood, a Crip, a Peace Stone, or any of that? The real ops to us as groups, as a group, is what? White supremacy and white supremacists. Those are the real ops. So why is it that when you hear brothers in hip hop talking about the op and watch out for the ops and all this crap, how come they never mention the ops as being a crooked cop? The ops as being a crooked DA, the ops as being crooked judges, white supremacist gangs run around here in the streets? How come they are never mentioned and spoke of as the ops, as ops? And I'm gonna tell you why. Subconsciously, black people and brothers in the ghetto and in the game, as they call it, and brothers that be out there banging and riding on other black men and women, deep down and subconsciously, they find it easier to go against their own. They find it to be less opposition to go against their own, because if you stand up against a crooked cop or a crooked judge, they're scared of going to jail. They scared of getting their channel shut down. They scared to get locked up. They scared of getting killed. But you don't seem too scared of getting killed or any of that mess when it comes to another brother, to another person that looked like you. And Because there's a lot of frustration and despair in the ghetto and in the hood, and I get it. But instead of taking your frustration out on the real enemy, because that is the real giant that's oppressing us all as black men, you rather go against your own brother, because to you that's easier. Let's keep it a buck. To you that's easier. You know, especially in Sacramento, you know, and this is not me getting into any of the street politics. I don't believe in getting involved in street politics, because that's not my place, and that's not what I do. I'm about black folks. I'm about blackness. I'm about defeating white supremacy. So if you hear me beefing with anybody, anything, it's either a coon or a white supremacist or this system. That's who you gonna hear me riding on as the Grioht. That's who I ride on. So you can't stick me in no box about who I'm beefing with out here in these streets as far as another black man. That's not how I roll. That's not how I roll at all. Because I know who the real enemy is, and I got guts enough to speak up against this white supremacist system on a consistent basis through my music, through my video commentary. And soon through these videos, through my music. That's how you do it. Through every medium, you gotta do it. I don't care if you sell cupcakes. Put a black message on them cupcakes. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever you do, make sure it's about black empowerment and defeating white supremacy as a system. White supremacy is a system that coons and white supremacists alike sign on to. They sign on to it because they find it to be a cowardly, easy thing to do to get ahead without actually earning anything. That's why you see either a white supremacist and a dusty nigga, to me, is the same, the flip side of the coin. A nigga that ain't got nothing and that's willing to put a gun in another black person's face to crumb snatch, rather than saying, hey, man, these white folks up here, man, these, you know, or this coon up here got all this money, man, you know, let's go hit up that mansion up there. Stop this crabs in the barrel thing. And I'm not advocating robbery or none of that. What I'm saying is, where's your energy geared when it comes to defeating whoever ops you think it is? Because if it's not about defeating white supremacy or going against white supremacists, then you're going in a circle and nothing's going to get accomplished, because a lot of these brothers out here that are in the so-called game and indulging in that type of activity, all this gang anti-blackness, anti-black racism on each other, I'm telling you, most of them brothers end up dead or in jail. There's nothing glorious about that. There's nothing glorious about end up on a t-shirt or in jail. And we got to stop this other thing too in hip-hop, trying to validate someone's credentials if they've been in jail or not. That doesn't validate nobody's credentials in the street just because you went to jail. What does that mean? You're not supposed to be running around here bragging on being institutionalized. Hip-hop has to go through a revamping stage because too much trash has been let in. You know what I'm saying? Through these record companies and through different mediums. Too much trash has been let in. We can't let this trash in. It's destroying the culture. You know why culture vultures like Vlad can get away with doing what he does, making millions off us, and even after he did what he did, not willing to at least apologize to the minister, how a bunch of these Negroes are still going up there getting interviewed, desperate to get clout because they feel like he is an audience. If you feel like Vlad's an audience, why don't you just start your own shit up? Start your own YouTube channel if you need to grow your audience. We got to stop this cowardly practice when it comes to everything. The easy way, even if it's sorry as hell and shameful, you're willing to do it. That's not good. We got to cut that out, especially in hip-hop, because hip-hop is one of the last political strongholds that can be used, shall I say, last medium as black people from the grassroots can use as a political stronghold. That tool needs to be used as a political stronghold. Hip-hop should have been used by now to be grounding candidates, to be running our own candidates and stuff. That's what hip-hop should have been used by now. That's what hip-hop should be used for. Instead, it's being used to dumb down the culture even more, to make people like Blad and DJ Academics and all these whack motherfuckers to be able to exploit our culture and only put a spotlight on the ignorant and elevate the ignorant over real hip-hop that's being done out here, man. There's a lot of real hip-hop being done out here, man. And they don't get no love unless you're talking about killing another black man. And I'm going to tell you this right now, man. That's some Coon Wrap. I'm sorry to say, man, if you run around on song after song talking about shooting another black person and running up on another black person and robbing another black person while we're in the middle of this vicious race war in America, there was a hanging in Sacramento a couple months ago. This brother was found hung from a tree. And I don't want to hear this, it was a suicide crap either. We're still literally getting hung out here. There's another brother hung down there in Houston, Texas not too long ago. We still getting hung out here. And then you got other black men, young black men out here reinforcing that. If you're talking about killing and harming other black men at this point, you're a coon and you're doing Coon Wrap. Don't nobody want to hear no Coon Wrap. Period. I don't want to hear no Coon Wrap. I don't do Coon Wrap. You know? And as a suggestion, we got to start doing our beats from scratch. We got to stop sampling. Hip hop needs to grow. We got to stop sampling. You know, you're starting to sample the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And it's starting to sound uneventful. We have to start cooking up dope beats from scratch. You know, I love sampling. I'm sampling music. I grew up on that. All of us did. Some of the best music that's out in hip-hop is from samples, but we have to grow beyond that and be more versatile, and we have to be able to cook up our own sound and so that we can sample from ourselves. We need to start sampling from ourselves. We need to create a musical calendar as a hip-hop community to where we can, the samples that we're using is from hip-hop producers that do their own music and do their own beats. Me, I never sample. I always do my own beats. Some of them are better than others. You know, I'm objective on my own music. There's some beats I hate and other people like them. It just depends. But so yeah, that's my stance when it comes to the whole Coon Wrap that's going on in hip hop. We need to cut that out. And there's another thing too. One more issue I'm gonna touch on. I keep touching on this COVID-19 thing. This is obviously, if you look at my video I did called the COVID reshuffle, this is obviously a attempt by overblowing something that, now when swine flu and all these other diseases were running rampant, Ebola and all that, they didn't shut nothing down. They didn't require everybody to wear masks. But when these protests started happening, they said, okay, look, this is how we're going to reshuffle the whole social landscape of America. We'll overblow this thing called COVID-19. I'm not saying it's not real, it's real, but they're overblowing it in order to make people believe that, oh, so we better retreat, we better run in the house, shut up, put a mask on, and obey, and wait for this new poison to roll out called a vaccine. And a lot of us fell for that. So that when they do open everything back up, it's going to be on their terms. Meaning, all the small businesses that were squeezed out of existence because of this overblown virus that they're promoting. Okay, let's be clear. They're promoting this virus. This virus isn't something that they're looking at to say we got to eradicate. They're promoting the virus. And this vaccine, and the whole thing about science always teaches you never say a cure, because that's not where the money's at. America's driven off capitalism and money. And cures, there's no money in cures. Even though there is money in cures if you're not greedy. If you're not greedy, there's money in cures too. You charge a nice little bag for the cure, cash in, cash out, you're done. But if somebody that's greedy, that has a bottomless pit for a stomach and is fat as hell, you're going to treat the virus. Treat it well. Make sure it's comfortable. Make sure it's not acting up too much. And then keep collecting money. That's evil. And it's fake and it's a lie. So when they do so-called open back up, it's going to be on their terms. It'll be, you can't fly unless you got this vaccine. You can't travel the world unless you got this vaccine. You can't go certain places if you don't got this vaccine. You can't go to the game if you didn't get vaccinated. You can't do this or that if you haven't been vaccinated. So we'll open back up. We're going to close up, shake it up, and then throw it back down on their terms. So it's the reshuffle. Because the mask will come off and it'll get back to normal, but it'll be a whole nother social landscape because of how they attempted to manipulate everything financially, making sure certain businesses won't exist anymore, so that these new developers can come in and gentrify the neighborhoods even more. The COVID-19 thing is used as a supercharged regentrification tool for the whole world. It's a super regentrification tool for the whole world. The globalists, who you call, which ain't nothing but the white supremacists, said, you know what? Fuck just gentrifying neighborhoods. Let's gentrify the world. Let's gentrify the world and get paid off this poison we're going to dump on them. Yo, that's some supercharged greed right there. So, I'm going to come back to y'all with some more. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all, man. Stay tuned for the new projects that will be on YouTube and other social media platforms. And as I always say, stay up and stay tuned.